Howdy, race fans. Howdy, howdy. Oh, it's that time of the week again that sometimes I do this show, which is, first off, I am StockCar Scott, and the show, my little show about racing, is In the Pits, and In the Pits is brought to you each and every week when I feel like it, thanks to the generous sponsorship of Monte Carlo Express Delivery. Yes, Monte Carlo Express Delivery has been servicing the courier needs of the Seattle area for over a decade now. Please like us on Facebook. I've been noticing that number's been going up a little bit. Okay, this past weekend was all Miami, all NASCAR, all weekend. Starting on Friday, early on Friday, there was some practice to watch. So I caught a little bit of that before I had a morning job over at my favorite place to do courier work. And so I went ahead and took care of that. Hey, Daphne. And then got to go home, watch a little bit more practice, a little bit of the truck qualifying. Kyle Larson was on the pole for the trucks there, and then I had another job and I had to go back, and because these people are so great, I went ahead and scheduled, set the recorder at home just in case I wasn't able to get home in time, but still had designs on seeing the whole truck race, and these ladies know how much I love racing, and they made allowances for that without having to bend any rules or anything. So I was able to get done with them a little bit faster and get back home in time to see the end of Cup qualifying and the whole truck race. Yep, saw the end of qualifying, saw the old man Jeff Gordon win the 200th pole for the Hendricks Racing organization there. 200 poles there. Great deal. And, he said it was all bittersweet and everything, and if he won the race, it would be bittersweet because he had already been eliminated from the chase by 1 point. Hey, Jeff, the way you ran this year, you can really look forward to next year. So, anyway, of the chasers, Harvick was the highest in 5th. Two of the other four, Denny and the Joker, were in the top 10 in qualifying, and Newman, he was only 21st or so. He didn't make it out of the first round of qualifying, so he had to work his way up a little bit more during the race. And my favorite guy, Dale Jr., qualified 11th. He did make it to the final round. Okay. Next up was the truck race on Friday night, and again, thank you, ladies. Thank you very much for making sure I could get home in time to see the truck race. And Kyle Larson was on the pole, like I said. Ryan Blaney was there on the outside pole, which looked like a good place for him to be to try to win that race, and hopefully something would happen to Matt Crafton. So maybe Blaney might win the championship. Toad was there in his number 51 truck, as well as his teammate, my favorite driver there, Bubba Wallace, in the 54. I wish he'd get in the Chevrolet. And also in a Chevrolet was Ty Dillon in the number 9. I do believe Brian Newberry was supposed to have driven that car, but he got sick or something. So anyway, Crafton only had Matt Crafton in the number 88 Toyota there, only had to finish about 21st in order to win the championship. There are a few other scenarios where if he led a lap, 22nd, most laps 23rd, something like that. But Blaney was 25 points back with the race when the race started. What it came down to was basically that Crafton and his crew did not make any mistakes during the whole race during that night, and they finished with in the top 10. I think it was 9th. And that negated Ryan Blaney's top 5 finish. He ran well, but he had to win. He had to win, get the extra points for winning, all that sort of stuff, and he had to have Matt Crafton have some sort of trouble that he couldn't come back from. So that's the way the truck race went. Pole sitter Kyle Larson finished second in the race. And my favorite, Bubba Wallace, Darrell Wallace Jr., won the race, which was his first truck win on a 1.5-mile intermediate style track. So just looking for bigger and better things out of Bubba Wallace, who was born in Alabama there. I know he lives in North Carolina now. He roots for Tennessee for some reason. I have no idea why, but born in Alabama. So anyway, Saturday, a little bit of cup practice. They had that, and then of all things on Fox Sports 1 was nationwide qualifying. Oh man, it was nice getting to watch qualifying there, and Sam Hornish Jr. Getting a little seat time in before next year when he goes into that Richard Petty number 9 car. But Sam Hornish Jr. put the number 12 Hertz Penske Mustang there on the pole for that nationwide 300-mile race. And of course that was the last nationwide race ever. From now on there'll be cable TV races starting next year. So we'll have to see how that goes. But this nationwide has been a good sponsor over the years. And I appreciate where they're going because they're putting money into my favorite Cup drivers' chances at a championship next year. So, let me get me a little drink here. So with that, they had the nationwide race there on ESPN2 for the last time. ESPN2 and ESPN and ABC losing their NASCAR telecast rights, so it's the last one for them. And of course the championship's already decided with Chase Elliott having won the championship. So he was basically just going for the win, hoping to finish out the year with a fourth win. But it was basically the point struggle was for the owner's championship point total, and that was between the number 22 Penske Mustang, which this week was driven by Brad Keselowski, so the Joker could concentrate more on the Cup Championship the next day. And of course the Toad was in the number 54, driving usually like he always does. He did pretty well during the race. It was a pretty good struggle, but even though the 22 had a couple of mistakes there in the pit row and a little bit during the race, he was still able to pull off the points championship, finishing ahead of Kyle Busch and his Joe Gibbs racing car there. So, oh, and by the way, Matt Kenseth won the race in a Joe Gibbs Racing number 20. I think GameStop was their sponsor on that, and it was nice that Matt Kenseth was able to salvage some sort of win this 2014 season. Of course, like I said, Chase Elliott won the championship, the Drivers' Championship, and he also won the Rookie of the Year for the Nationwide Series. And of course, next year Nationwide won't be around. It'll be blah, 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 cable TV. So, that leaves us Sunday. And early in the morning, before any of the festivities in Florida got started, Fox Sports 1 showed the K&N West race from Phoenix from week before last there on Thursday night before all the other Phoenix races. And it looked like a pretty good race there, a 100-lap race, 100 miles, and it was won wire to wire, led every lap by Nick Drake and a number 99 Napa Auto Parts car there. And Greg Pursley won the championship. And the sad thing about it, though, is I think it's his second K&N West Championship, but the place that he races for is closing. So either he's retiring or going to look for another ride. He sounded more like he was just going to retire with the championship and going out. So that's sad that there's one less K&N West Pro team that we're going to be seeing out there when we go to Evergreen next year. Okay, then Sunday during the day, I tell you folks, Sunday was something else. Sunday was the best championship finale race maybe ever. Is that putting it on too thick? I mean, it was better than the Tony versus Carl from a couple of years, 2011, or from way back last generation there, Alan Kowicki and Awesome Bill from Dawsonville. That was a great finale race, but whew, this one outdid it. These four guys all running together, all having an equal chance, all starting level at the same race. They basically had to win the race in order to win the championship. It was great. These guys, after Ryan Newman made his way up in the top 10, all four of them ran up in the top 10 most of the day. They were racing their guts out, people. And that's what us race fans like. I mean, total commitment, and that's what these four drivers had. I mean, other drivers came and went. Jeff Gordon had a good car there for a while, but something happened with him right towards the end. I know it would have been nice for him to end the season on a win, but those four chase guys were not to be denied. And at one time, they were all in the top 5, and I think for a lap or two, they were the top 4. So that's how hard they were running throughout the whole race. Now, late in the race is when everything basically happened, the way things turned out for the championship. The Joker had problems in the pits during the last go-around, during the last yellow flag and pit stops. Jack slipped, something happened, and he went right onto the back. He was able to get back up to about 16th, which had him finishing 4th in points for this season. Denny Hamlin ran well all day, ran up there at the front, but during the last time when everybody came in to the pits, he and Jeff Gordon stayed out, and it didn't work for either one of them. Now, Jeff Gordon ended up having to come in, I think, to take tires. Denny Hamlin was able to stay out, and that no pit call, no tires, relegated him to a 7th place finish. He got past and 3rd place in points, and he got past there right towards the end by Newman, who had been climbing up steadily during the whole race, ran in the top 10 during most of the race, in the top 5 during a lot of the race. I know a lot of people were saying he hasn't got to win, so he shouldn't be a champion. Well, he was running like a champion, folks. He was running for everything, and he got up to 2nd because he was able to get around Denny Hamlin on one of the final restarts, next to last restart there on the 2 tires that he got on the last stop. But like I said, they could only get him to 2nd place, and 2nd place in the points. Harvick got 4 tires on the last stop on that number 4 Bud Chevrolet, and in that last round of pit stops, that's what he needed, because it rocketed Happy Harvick right to the front, right to the. There were 2 restarts, and of course he started like 12th or so right after the pit stop with the 4 fresh tires. Then there was another caution, and he still had fresher tires, 4 tires. More than anybody else. So when he restarted the next restart, he was already up in the top 5, and just basically got by the competition, got by Newman, and was able to win the championship. by winning the race, because that's what he had to do. One of his 4 competitors was in second place, so he had to finish ahead of those guys, of any of those guys. So it was great. It was, I was happy. Harvick's one of my favorite drivers, probably my second favorite Cup driver there is right now. I like a lot about him. I like his attitude. I like where he's come from over the years, and I've just been impressed with him over the years. So he's second favorite driver. He's my younger brother that was on the show with me here a couple of months ago. Harvick is his favorite driver. So yeah, we're pleased that Harvick won his first championship. But I was asked by somebody on Facebook, Mr. Scott Burby, who runs the number 41 mini stock up there at Evergreen, runs real well up there, I might add. And he asked me what I thought of this new chase format. And I'll tell you, even though Junior was out in the second by the end of the second round, I love it. I love it. It's the best thing ever. It's the best thing that's happened to NASCAR in a while. It's gotten more emotion, more of everything that racing should be, and I really like it. I think that it's the way to go. It gives you 4 guys there at the end that have qualified, that have shown championship material in order to get there. So, any of those guys would have been great champions. They would have, of course, they would have picked apart Newman for not having, if he had been able to win the championship without winning the race. Yeah, they'd have picked on that. If Denny Hamlin had won the championship, they would have picked on the fact that he missed a race, even though he qualified for that race, and that's, was okay by NASCAR and everything. He missed the race, so a lot of people weren't real good with that. But and who cares how young Joker Logano is? I mean, of course he deserves to be in there. His team, they ran well as an organization. But Harvick and Rodney Childress with that new organization, I mean, that everything came together right, and I'm glad. I have no problems with the way things turned out. I do want to see Junior win a championship, especially in this new format, because when he does, I mean, it's going to be amazing, but that's, just like the Mariners fans say, that wait till next year. We'll get them next year. But it was exciting, folks. It was the most exciting finale race I have ever seen, and I'll be glad when this time next year comes around, so I get to see another one of those races. I just hope Junior's in it. And oh yeah, Junior finished 14th in the race, which made him, I do believe, 8th in points. Another top 10 year in the points for him. Brad, old bad Brad, finished 5th in points. He was the highest finishing driver to not make the final round. The old man, Jeff Gordon, finished 6th in points. Kenseth finished 7th in points. And Johnson, for the first time ever, he finished outside the top 6 with an 11th place finish in points. He had never finished outside the top 10 in points, outside the top 6 until this new format. So the new format's got some things, be said for it. You got to keep producing during the whole time, just like the playoffs in stick and ball sports. If you don't produce, you're out. So I'm good with it. I'm good. Even though Junior got put out, even though other things happened, there are enough different types of races in there where everybody's got a chance to continue. So yeah, I look forward to seeing it again next year. Larson, Kyle Larson beat out Austin Dillon for Rookie of the Year when I do believe he finished 13th in the race there. And he's had several really good finishes, and Dylan's just been your average rookie. You know, he's better than the other guys that didn't get to run as many races, but still, I mean, I see good things for Dylan in the future. But right now the future is red hot bright for Kyle Larson, and it's my understanding that one of his big fans is Leo Gordon, the son of Jeff Gordon. So way to go, Leo! Pick out a young guy there to cheer for a long time to come. The Washington locals, one did okay, one did not do okay. Casey Kane from Enumclaw finished 12th in the race. I don't believe he's in the top 10 there for, no, I don't think so. And Biffle, my wife was not pleased with his 41st place finish, but he got in a little wreck there and tore his car up, and that's just what happened. So, my wife's racing year didn't end on such a positive note, but there you go. Wait till next year. Hopefully things will turn around for Roush with some of their new drivers, and hopefully they'll get some new blood in the organization there, and things will get better for them. And that's it, folks. That is it for NASCAR for the year. Let the withdrawals begin. Let the countdowns begin. It's, I think, 95 days until the next season starts at Daytona. Of course, we who have drivers that have special skills, we get to see them about a week early in the what's it called now, the Sprint Unlimited. So there'll be a race, a couple of races before Daytona 500 in 95 days, but that's when we usually count towards the beginning of the season, because that's when the season starts. Next weekend is the last race of live televised racing for the season. That is the F1 race at Abu Dhabi, and Lewis Hamilton leads his teammate Nico Rosberg by 17 points. But being the last race of the season there at Abu Dhabi, they offer double points. So there is a real possibility that should something happen with Hamilton and Rosberg get full winner's points, then he could probably pass him and take the championship away. So we're just going to have to watch that this weekend. Everything starts at 5 a.m. Of course, they'll have pre-race on Sunday. That'll start at 4:30, but practice on Friday starts at 5 a.m. Qualifying on Saturday, 5 a.m. And I'm pretty sure both of those are on, I think all of the shows are on NBC Sportsnet for this go-around. So if you want to see live racing, got to get up early in the morning this coming weekend. And then that's it, folks, for getting to watch live racing. I'm sure there'll be a few things here and there, of course, always is, but as far as stock cars and ultimate race cars, round and round, like I said, let the withdrawals begin. And thank you very much for watching over this past season. I'll put on one more show for you next week, but that's probably going to be it for 2015. I appreciate all of the views, all of the YouTube views that I've gotten, and it's really been a nice season for trying to get this in the pits off the ground a little bit. So continue watching. I have something for you hopefully next week. But until then, let me get me a little drink there and go. Thank you, race fans. See you next week. Maybe, sometime.